2 weeks ago, we had a chat with Anatoly, and he said, and this is a quote, the difference between a Solana conference and an Ethereum conference is that at a Solana conference, there's way less talk about scaling. So when do you think we'll see a shift from the current sort of infrastructure focus to use case specific applications being maybe the dominant talking point?
Yeah, I mean, what do I think about this? I think the challenging thing about use cases is that like talking more about use cases doesn't mean like that necessarily mean that you get working use cases, right? Like I remember how like back in 2020 and 2021, like we had all of this excitement about like the games and like Axel Infinity and like all of these NFT projects, and there's a lot of that stuff ended up not really panning out at all, right? And like we saw basically that like people were trying to basically use the casino as a substitute for making a game that's fun, and like that's something that where you can convince yourself into believing that it works in a bull market, but then once the bear market starts, the casino stops automatically giving everyone money. It starts losing everyone money, and then if the fun isn't there, then like pretty much everyone is going to get bored and leave, right? And so it's the sort of thing where like on the application side, yeah, it's really important to both like take things slowly and to recognize that sometimes a lot of the valuable applications are going to be kind of the boring ones, and even that like there's a lot of like fundamentals and research questions that we have to think about when you think about applications, right? So like, for example, there's a lot of discussion around like what is the right kind of DAO governance, and the right kind, like that is an application level question, but it's also a deeply technical question. And if you get it wrong, then you're going to make DAOs that break. If a lot of the discussion around ZK, like actually, ZK voting is a really powerful DAO governance tool. A lot of the discussion around like advanced cryptography, like that stuff is incredibly useful for applications. ZooPass, like that's a very application level thing, right? Decentralized social, very application level thing. So I think it's happening, but I think it's the sort of thing that like you also can't rush, and you need to have the fundamentals be there in a really strong and really reliable way for the push on applications to really make a lot of sense. Yeah, like those two things, I think can only really really co-evolve with each other, right? And like I think it's really good that we're having all of these deep discussions about like not just how to scale in the sense of increasing TPS, but like increasing TPS in the right way. And on the application side, like it's actually a lot of the same stuff, right? Like it's like the thing that I hate the most is like applications that pretends to be crypto applications, but then like the only way to sign in is a Google account, and if like the whole thing depends on like one centralized server, and there's no way to interact with it at all outside of the one server, and like it basically is just a completely centralized thing that just happens to like have a couple of tokens on Arbitrum or whatever somewhere, or that just like happens to stick a root on Ethereum once in a while, right? So yeah, I think like discussion about applications, it's also important for that to really be principled and to sort of remember like what it is that we're actually all here for. So I'm a big fan of having much more high quality discourse on both of those things, and like I think you can't have a healthy ecosystem without that.
Go!